What's going on, Internet? Welcome back to The Summit, the podcast where we share with you all of the latest and greatest gaming, anime, and pop culture news, saving you all the time of finding it yourself. If you're listening to this, you can find us on all major podcasting platforms. We're available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to follow us on our social media, which will be linked in the show description to keep up with us away from the show. Bringing you in for today's episode, I'm your host, your boy Ashy, and with me are my co-hosts who make all this possible. First and foremost, starting with a man who just can't put down the competitive Call of Duty, Rain, aka CJ. Go ahead and introduce yourself for today's episode.
How's everybody out there doing? It's your boy Rain, aka CJ, back at it again. You know, it's always a pleasure to be here and to do this with y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Our next host is trying his hardest to keep his love for Overwatch alive. Razor SJS, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's good, everybody? Welcome in or welcome back. If you watched the last episode. Yeah, that's a toxic relationship that I want to keep on the low for, but I appreciate the intro.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And last, but definitely not least, our next host who can't win an argument to save his life, Striker. Go ahead and speak your piece for today's show.
What's good, y'all? Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and let's get a dub this time. Yeah.
Yes, sir. As always. Okay, we kind of covered a lot on the last episode, which was just like a few days ago. So not much. Well, we still got a lot in the show notes, but not much to cover this episode. It should be a little shorter. Not much has changed as far as news. It's kind of the same stuff this month. What we do have is, starting with the game releases, we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, released February 29th. For PS5. I don't know if any of y'all are like Final Fantasy fans. I'm personally not. I couldn't really get into it all too much. You got any fans in here for the Final Fantasy?
So I'd definitely say Final Fantasy's never really been something that I'd go to or my go-to game, specifically because the old school style was supposedly a turn-based action RPG, and I feel like that just kind of like pushed me away or turned me off to it. But Final Fantasy 15 came around and just absolutely spoiled anyone that was a Final Fantasy fan or anyone that wasn't when they brought in that real-time action. And they even had what do they call it, where you gotta like just hit a input or a button during like a cutscene or something.
Quick time events.
There we go. That its exploration was phenomenal. Like everything about 15 was just quite a masterpiece. 16 came around and it was, I feel like it dropped, and then 7 remastered followed same suit of 15. And I played 7, the demo, and tried giving both the game a chance as well. Whereas the story of 15, so none of the games is like the story like followed one another. Each game is a different story. Final Fantasy VII has your main character, the character that's been like glorified and everyone loves, Cloud. And that story just is very expansive and quite immersive, so to speak, from what everyone said. But I feel like the gameplay and like its action doesn't quite fit its story, which is what kind of pushed me away and didn't want me to continue playing it based off of what I've experienced off of 15.
So is Final Fantasy VII before 15? I'm guessing it's before 15, right? Like story-wise, are they connected or are they two different storylines?
Two different storylines.
Okay.
But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is supposed to... So Final Fantasy VII ended like on a cliffhanger. And Rebirth, and there's another one that's supposed to drop that's supposed to close the entire story of 7. Rebirth continues the story or picks up 7 where it left off. I want to give it a chance and give it a try and see what Rebirth is about, but I would have to play through 7. I feel like 7 is just more for fans of that played the old game, or it's more of a nostalgia type thing.
Okay, I got you. Have you played all of them?
No, I haven't. Just 15. I played a little bit of 16. 16 was pretty dope as far as like what they introduce. But it's a pure cinema. Like you might as well just grab a popcorn and hit X a few times here and there.
Well, what was the new one? Okay, the new one was it 16 or is it?
Yeah, 16.
Okay, all right, okay. Are they making a 17?
with Rebirth dropping, I could imagine they'll want to finish off 7.
Mhm.
I think they dropped the timeline for Final Fantasy 7, so they already announced when they're gonna drop that final one. I forget the name of the other one. I'll need to look it up and let y'all know. But there's another part to the DLC for 7 and that story to
Gotcha.
come.
All right, well, shit. Like I said, that's all we got for the game releases. We got some more news though for upcoming games. Before we kind of dive into the I feel like the big topics of today would be like EA and a bunch of the layoffs and the boycotts going on. Before we get into that, I do want to just get the slight news out of the way. Spider-Man 2 is getting its new game plus mode on March 7th, as well as some like new cosmetics, I guess, for the game. The PS5 bundle has dropped by $50 at Best Buy, so I guess PlayStation is kind of dropping the prices of their consoles, which is kind of expected because obviously the rumors of the PS5 Pro, their next console, I guess, or the next additional line to the PS5 is supposedly coming out towards the end of this year, so it makes sense that the prices of these consoles are starting to drop. So I guess Striker, you can get back on Spider-Man 2 and go back to swinging around and
100% of them Adidas shoes.
Nice. Are you gonna play it again on New Game Plus?
100%, yo.
Okay.
I think
There's no way you
traversal
wear
on
that skin.
Absolutely,
There's no
I
way
did.
you
I
wear
beat the
that
game
skin.
in that skin.
You're gonna wear it again?
Nice.
Why wouldn't I?
Oh nah, y'all different, bro. But you still not gonna buy the shoes yourself.
I can't. They sold out. I wasn't lying about
How much
that.
they sell out for?
I think 120.
Oh, that's not bad.
Damn, bro.
Motherfuckers gonna resell them?
I don't know, bro.
Probably.
That's a shoe based off Spider-Man. I mean, I get it.
Hey, they just made a Joker shoe.
I mean, it is
Yeah,
the color. The color scheme is based off the flag.
The flag?
Yeah, he's his Puerto Rican.
Oh, it's
side.
Puerto Rican. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go with that.
Wait, hold on.
I ain't gonna flat, bro. Look, I ain't trying to say nothing, but hey, whenever a company want to make a quick buck, all they gotta do is put a flag on it or something.
That's
Hey,
it.
y'all eat it up.
They got all the boxes checked.
They don't. I don't think they truly care, but
They
hey,
do
they put
not.
a flag on that motherfucker. Hey, 'cause I'm just
Diversity.
saying, bro. They gave him that Puerto Rican suit, but like I heard, man speak Spanish like once the whole game.
Is this the
Nah, he
same?
said "ma" a few times. What you mean?
Look at
Yeah,
that.
what? Get the fuck out of here.
Is this the same company we talking about that dropped Kanye and picked him back up a couple months later when they realized they lost all that money?
That company.
Crazy. They care, I guess. All right, yeah. On to the next. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. For those of you listening who were excited about that, yeah, that's just not coming. The developer at Saber Interactive left its parent company at Embracer in a $500 million deal to become his own privately owned company. And, I guess that whole game's been underwater for some years now. I know people are like, oh, they're excited for the Knights of the Old Republic, for the nostalgia and stuff. That's just not coming. Don't even. The remake's still in the works, apparently, but, it's highly doubted that it'll ever release. So if you've been excited about that, just don't get your hopes up, all right? Still on the Star Wars news, Star Wars Outlaws, made by the same developers of The Division and Avatar Frontiers. Still set to release this year. There's no set date, but it's still set to release. I know this is one of the games I'm pretty excited for. It's basically an open world Star Wars game, the first open world game of their franchise, at least. So it's still expected to be released this year. Like I said, there's no date, but we should be getting something like I guess more defined date in the next few months, because that trailer's been out for almost a year now. So pretty excited for that one. I don't know, any of y'all plan on picking that up, that little open world Star Wars game? I feel like I'm pretty much the only Star Wars fan in this group.
No, I mean I like Star Wars. What? Like
I've
I
seen the
like
whole
Knights of the Old
trilogy. I've seen all the
Republic. I
movies.
like I didn't really keep up with the remake for real. I remember they announced it, but I didn't really keep up with it. But it is sad that's not going to be there. But
I know.
100%.
Outlaws just didn't show anything that really interests me. Like I don't know who the main character is, and I didn't get no chance to know her yet. Maybe in a trailer or something. And honestly, I don't know. I think my thing with Star Wars, like games specifically, like the media doesn't matter, but with the video games, Yeah, being a smuggler is cool, but that's not like my primary thing when I'm thinking of playing a Star Wars game. You feel me?
You want the
So
lightsaber?
yeah, the
Yeah,
Force, all that, swapping
Oh
yeah,
no,
between,
yeah.
like
Choosing
so.
sides.
yeah.
So like, what choosing sides?
He wants to be a Sith Lord.
You want to be Sith Lord?
No, I'm saying I can be a Jedi. I
No,
don't.
no, not
Yeah.
you. I'm talking about the guy that
Him.
said choose his
You
side.
want? Oh, you want to choose to be evil? Go play the original Knights of the Old Republic, man. There you go. But
They
He
got the
want
strongest
to play the new
ability.
one.
uh, yeah,
Hey,
so
coming.
yeah, I'm just personally not really interested in Outlaws. I mean, personally, I think another thing that goes on top of that for me is that I don't really trust big name brands releasing video games anymore because they're
Yeah,
typically cash grabs or bad or something. There are a
yeah,
few outliers that stand out and whatnot, but like, yeah, the fact that they just that remakes Under the Water, like that was a big game. That could have been
yeah.
amazing. It was probably too much fucking work for them to like justify how much money it was costing us. So I don't know.
Mm.
They probably went a cheaper route as
Well,
always.
the thing about that is, I'm not. They don't release too much. Like when these companies do that, they don't release too much information on why stuff is failing. And so I'm pretty interested as to like what's causing that amount of discourse within the company. Because the dude just like, I guess the company just straight up left and made their own, which I mean says something. Obviously, you invest $500 million into doing something like that, something's got to be off. And so, I mean, I hope the game does come out. I mean, like I said, it's still in the works, but I mean, the game's been under so much just scrutiny since it's been announced. Well, since the rumor even came out, that it's just like and then it's like then you want to face the fact like, okay, if it does come out, should it even come out? You know, because if it's under this much hot water, it's like, is it even going to be good? Exactly, and we've been seeing a lot of that lately, and it's like, I don't know. It's, like you said, I don't really have a lot of trust in a lot of these big companies anymore when it comes to developing games. Everything's a cash grab. They don't put any time into their craft anymore. Everything's just so put it out, put it out, put it out, put it out now, even if it's broken, even if it doesn't make any sense, just to grab a.
But not even just
few
that.
dollars.
Like we said last time, a lot of these companies want to play it safe, so they just want to go for something that's playable rather than something that's immersive and its quality and something that the audience can actually truly enjoy.
Spider-Man.
Hold on
Yeah,
now, you're reaching.
yeah. Hey,
I
he
don't
ain't
think I'm
wrong.
reaching. You described that shit. You on the ball with that description. I ain't gonna cap.
He not wrong.
You're not wrong, dog.
So you got
That's
nominated
20
for Game
hours
of the
on it.
Year.
Of
That's all I
course
want
it
to point
did. It's
Of
out.
course it
Spider-Man,
did.
bro.
Yeah,
It's
that's automatic.
Spider-Man. Come on now.
I mean,
Like,
of course.
it's Spider-Man. Of course it's gonna be successful. That don't mean nothing.
People
though.
live through the eyes of Mary Jane, man. That's all I'm saying.
Let's be
What?
real. People bought
Like one of
Spider-Man
the-
to swing around. That's what they bought it for. You
That
buy
traversal
Spider-Man to
was
swing.
amazing.
It was safe.
It's safe.
It was safe.
And that's okay. Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's
you know?
okay. I just don't like how y'all, gassing them up for playing it safe.
It ain't the
That's why they're gonna
greatest.
keep doing it.
Right. It ain't the
I don't know
greatest,
about-
but you know.
How they play it safe? Nah, I'm gonna do this.
It's the same. That's Spider-Man 1, bro. The
What
only
is-
difference is
what do you mean
lies,
it's
bro.
the
What's
same?
the difference?
It's the same. Okay.
They added the 2 extra abilities they can do while
What two extra
in
abilities?
the
Okay,
air.
4 years of fucking development for 2 extra swinging abilities. What are they?
Not 2 swinging abilities. It's actual
What?
like move sets.
Yeah, what are they?
The
Tell me
ones
what
that
they are.
continues launches you vertically or allows that forward momentum, or the one that pushes you higher into the sky so that you can continue or gain higher altitude.
What
Those
buttons are you talking
two,
about? Are you talking about like the
I
shit
forget
that
the
with bio arms and the fucking like electricity what Miles does? They
Right.
had that in the OG game.
no, they didn't.
Are you talking?
What-
What are you talking about?
When you
exactly?
hold like L1 in the air, and then you can hit either triangle or X.
Yeah,
and
they
one
had
will
that.
propel you forward even
I swear
further.
they had that.
No, they
had that.
didn't.
They had that in the
didn't.
Miles Morales game. So they had that. They had that in the previous game. It was in the Miles
Mhm.
Morales game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They
A
did.
cash grab game, by the way, that did
It
nothing
was.
but to add to the story.
And it was 4 hours long. That
hours
shit was
long
DLC.
for
They sold it for
full
full
price.
price. That's
Playing
crazy.
it safe, but you guys are lining their pockets so much with that
Well,
they can.
I ain't
continue
defending
to do it.
Miles Morales game. I will say, I mean, it was unique. It was Miles.
Well, I
Huh?
mean, you just defended those 2 new traversals, and that
No,
was
no.
from Miles. That was from his
Well,
game.
I mean, we didn't have that with the original Spider-Man.
Yeah,
But
but you had it with Miles,
They brought
so
in
it's still
Miles.
playing it safe.
I don't
because they
recall
didn't
it.
develop any new. I do. Like, no, you trying to tell me like I'm not speaking for because like that shit was familiar. Like when I was thinking about it, okay, I was like, okay, I don't remember Peter using the arms, but then I thought about it, I was like, wait, Miles has been doing that because like I didn't really use it in this game because I didn't bother putting skill points into it because it was fucking useless. So I didn't have it till like end game, but I remember using it a lot, and it's from Miles Morales because you did it in Miles Morales, and like didn't you like charge up your Venom abilities by doing it or some shit? But either way, it's not original Spider-Man 2. The only original thing they did for the traversal was the glide, which was cool. I'm not banging them on that. But one, gliding is not original. It's in a bunch of superhero games from Batman.
I'm not saying it's original, but it
And two,
added to
the
that
thing,
traversal.
yeah, no, but two, this is the bigger thing here. It's not a natural like it's not necessary. You feel me? It's something that you can do if you want to, but you never have to glide unless they force you to in those fucking chase the bird missions.
I mean, if
That's
anything,
it.
I'd say
Not
that
the
the
chase the
glide was the
bird
most
mission.
optimal way to
Like,
traverse.
like if we're talking about this, then I'm gonna bring it back to last week thing I said where Suicide Squad did it better because in Suicide Squad you have to use traversal.
That's true.
It's very unique per character and it's fun and you know what I mean. Like I would have loved in Spider-Man if they actually made it a part of the game. Why have all these Spider-Man games and we're not web swinging in combat? If I web swing in combat in Spider-Man 2, they throw an electricity net to knock me out of the sky.
That is true.
They say no, you can't have fun. Like, come on.
You're web zipping.
You gotta
How you
fight.
gonna be able to?
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing the things the game gave me. Okay, look, if they want that to be a balanced thing, it's cool. But like, if I'm not gonna really like, when is the glide like exceptionally the answer? You know what I mean? Like there,
What,
it's
traversing?
never. No, it's not. You can,
Each and
anywhere
every
you can
single one of
glide,
its
you can swing.
mechanics
You know what I
Well,
mean?
I
Like
mean-
when will you glide that you can't swing for?
across the water when you're
But you
going
can,
through
but you can
past the
swing.
bridge.
But you can
That-
swing on the bridge. You can web sling across the
on the
bridge.
bridge.
You can
What about
ski across
underneath?
the water. Yeah, you can web swing underneath the bridge. What would you need those the glide for? Like there, you can
Because you
get
can
across the
benefit off
water.
the boost.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's no need for it. You can benefit off the water. You can go across the water without it. There's no
There's
need. For
even
it.
an achievement in the game to
That's
just
how
web
badly.
glide.
That's
There's
how
to
badly
just web
they're
glide
forcing
from
y'all
one
to. That's what I'm
area
saying.
to another.
Think about this. Think about this. That's how bad they want y'all to use it. They're forcing you to do it from one side of the map to the other. Mind you, I got the plat trophy. I did that, and guess what? It was one of the last ones I did because I never fucking had the like idea to actually do that. It never crossed my mind, and I didn't even have fun doing it because I had to redo it like twice. Had to find all the wind tunnels to make it across. It wasn't a fun achievement. It was something I did last minute to get the plat trophy.
I
The
feel like
web
it's a skill
gliding.
thing.
Not to
Okay,
mention,
man. All right.
there's
What
no
difficulty
trophy
you play
for beating it on a higher difficulty.
Yeah, it's not. Nope. What
That's
difficulty you
bland.
played on, Striker?
That's besides the
Oh,
point.
that's
yo.
a skill issue for me. I played on spectacular, but skill issue for me. And I would have played through on ultimate if the game gave me a reason to. But the only reasons I wanted to go back and replay it were for certain boss missions or certain mission segments. And I'm not going to go through the entire game to do that again, especially when they're going to make you reset your skills and like you need to do side quests to get your skills up. I don't
Well,
want to do those boring
With
ass
New
side
Game
quests
Plus,
again.
then will you do it?
Yeah, I had to wait for it. Nah, it's still not worth it. I don't want to go through the whole story for those few parts.
I'm wondering why
Yeah.
did you have to wait for it though?
Exactly. Why does it not come standard? And like that's a Sony thing because they do that with God of War 2. I don't know
Yeah.
why they do that. It should come off rip. Like with God of War Ragnarok, I plan to go back and New Game Plus it because I actually like the game. But guess what? It came out so late. I have no fucking interest to go back and do that.
Bro, I
It's gone.
was saying that. I was saying that some months ago. I'm like, bro, they wait so long
They
to
wait
bring
so
out a
long.
new
I
game
don't
plus.
want to play the game anymore. Like if you're gonna
It's-
wait that long, then you should do it in like a big update a year down the line when
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it's been a year. Yeah, sure, I'll go back and replay it with some new updates and new game plus. But no, it's just like why not just deliver that with the game up front?
They might as well.
Especially if you're gonna come out with a new difficulty. Like I beat the game, it was like, okay, you've unlocked ultimate difficulty, and I was like, cool. Went and checked it out. New game. It's like I don't want to start I don't want to start
Exactly.
over at level 1. What the fuck? Like no, like it's stupid.
They
And then
could-
there wasn't even a trophy for it, bro. That's just something they slapped on. There wasn't even a trophy for it. Ain't no reason to play on ultimate.
Yeah, it is. Sony do that shit. And speaking of, I don't know. And then I got a little bit more about Sony with this shit, bro. I don't like how with Miles, right? You had to pay a full price for that game. That game could have just been released on PlayStation
DLC.
Extra or as DLC.
Yeah.
As DLC, like either as DLC to the Spider-Man game or as for free for all PlayStation Plus members. Like I don't know why they were making people pay full price for a 4-hour story and some upgraded 60 frames web slinging. Like,
Oh, and
it,
I thought
funny
it was
story.
DLC at first.
I wish. And funny story to
no,
add to that,
it was a
right?
new game.
Celtic Pride, right? He played through Miles Morales late, and I watched him play it. And guess what this nigga did? This nigga challenged himself. He said, just for the fuck of it, I'm gonna play throughout the entire game without using the Venom powers, and he fucking did it. He fucking did it. He played through the game without using the Venom powers. And it's like, bro, what? And I thought about it. I was like, bro, what's the fucking point of them then? That's how I feel about the gliding. There's no point to it. It's just an accessory to have, like on top of it if you want it. But unlike the other accessories, like I want to do the cool superpower shit. Like the gliding, I used it here and there, but for the most part, I was just swinging or fast traveling because I just got over it after a while. I'm being honest.
I mean, how would you have felt if they hadn't included the web lighting at all? Like it was just wasn't even there. But
And
you know that Spider-Man has it in his kit.
Okay, well, first of all, that makes no sense that it's
What
not
do you
there,
mean?
but I know it's in his kit, so that's two contradictory things. But
Well, no,
in my
like
honest
knowing.
opinion,
My
to
bad,
your
my
first
bad.
part though, oh no, you could. So your first part though, if I did not know of the web gliding's existence and it wasn't in Spider-Man 2, nothing would have changed for me. That's how bad it is. Nothing would
So
have
I mean,
changed.
like based off the movies, like you know how in Homecoming, I don't know if it was Homecoming or not or whatever.
God.
But I mean, even in the animated series, like Spider-Man's been known
Yeah,
to
I know he's
use
had
web
that.
gliding.
But what I'm
Right.
saying is they didn't make it in depth enough for me to care to use it. Like it didn't have tight turning. It was just something you use for a speed boost to traverse. And once you get over traversing the map, there is no need for it at all. Right. And even when you need it, it's just like a boost. It's not actually needed. You can swing anywhere. You know what I mean? It doesn't add anything extra. Like I wasn't excited to glide places like I should have been. Like if they
I
made that
mean,
gliding thing amazing, then maybe I would have been like you and would have been like traversing across the map manually for every fucking mission. But I didn't feel that. As soon as I unlocked fast travel, I've always fucking used it.
at the end of the day, it's a personal preference because they also added fast travel, so you can go to certain skip the whole traveling and exploration and just go straight to an area that you need to, or point of interest to do what you need to do. They gave or allowed multiple ways to traverse or explore or travel to the players or the audience as options rather than this is something that you need to do or force you or kind of like force it down people's throat. And I feel like in games that's a positive thing and something that should be rewarded to include multiple options rather than being or saying here this is the only way you can get through this area.
Yeah, so I agree with that first part about personal preference. It's definitely true. Like it's if other people love it, there's enough people love it to where it's like, yeah, I understand. And I'm recalling now there were a few missions where you did have to use it just to like chase birds or shit, right?
Mhm.
But it's just like outside of that, I never felt the need to use the glide. You know what I mean? It just never really. It wasn't that good. It just seemed like a mediocre ad. Like they did it, but they didn't put no love in it. You feel me? Like it was baked without love. Like they could have done that better. I feel.
Personally, I loved it. I thought they did amazing with it, and
Yeah,
it
but you love
was.
everything about it. So how can we trust that opinion?
God damn.
I
You
mean,
know, if
I'm
we're
a
being
Spider-Man
honest.
fan, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
They-
Played
Just
the same.
like that's why I can't. That's why I can't take like what I mean. Like you defended the game hardcore, and it's like it's nice.
100%. That game was a masterpiece. Like they did
It
amazing
was
with that
not a
game. I'll say
masterpiece. Don't
Insomniac
say that.
saved any Spider-Man like series that was out there. Spider-Man games haven't been good since
Huh?
the. I'm serious. Yeah, Spider-Man games have not been good since like the last Spider-Man 2 that dropped on PS2.
The fuck? Yeah, how you go from loving that mid
What?
game to being such a critic, bro? Since Spider-Man 2 since PS2, bro. Web of Shadows, Ultimate Spider-Man. Fucking hold on, I'm gonna look up this list because you're tripping. You're tripping, dude. If you think that is the only good Spider-Man games, first of all,
I
Spider-Man
didn't say
1.
that was the old. Well, no, I did. I
Hold
did.
on. Like, bro, hold on. Bro. Did you Spider-Man friend or foe? I don't. What Spider-Man 2 game are you talking about? Oh, Shattered Dimension. That was PS3, so that counts.
The one
That's
that they
great.
based off
Which
with Peter
oh,
Parker.
like the speed, like the OG movies. They based it off the OG movie
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's old as shit, bro. I probably can't even remember them graphics.
That is
Look,
old.
Web of Shadows.
Damn.
Web of Shadows was heat, right? Shattered Dimensions was heat.
Nope.
Fucking.
That boy pulling up the
I don't know if
Carfax.
Amazing Spider-Man was after or before that, but that one was heat. The Ultimate Spider-Man, I mean. But yeah, nah, you capping, bro. Because those, at least Shattered Dimensions and Web of Shadows, I can vouch for it personally.
Well,
Oh my god. This shit is-
Nah, bro.
this is why I like. This is why I like this. I like because I like how like when Razor plays video games. Like I mean, he's a fucking avid video game player. Like he actually pays attention to everything within that scope of the game. Like because you can have a good game. It's everything's flawed. Nothing's perfect. I like how Razor actually like can analyze the whole game for what it is versus putting his like biasness into his opinion of it. I like that. I like no, I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying like I see what he does with these. Like he'd be a great video game reviewer because that's what he does. Like he'll sit there. He can dissect the game. I mean, a lot of us we sit there and we say, "Oh, this game is fantastic," just because we got like feelings. We got feelings somehow we got feelings invested into the
He's
game.
still playing Overwatch though.
Yeah, and I hate it, bro.
Yeah, he does hate that shit.
I'll tell you every bad thing about that game, bro. I have more bad things to say than good about that game. I am unbiased. All right.
I mean, 100%, because basically two. To start with that number, like.
Oh yeah. Overwatch 2 was a mistake in itself.
Hey, whole game.
No fighting here.
They still owe me $40, not to mention.
They do. They owe us $40 for us. All right. I bought that shit too. But yeah, no, I mean, just to sum up the Spider-Man thing, like it could have been a masterpiece for real.
Mm-hmm.
They just played it too safe, and a lot of things, like I feel like they added things just for the sake of it being there. Like another example I thought about was when I was watching Cheeto play it. Those hunter-based missions, bro. He did not stealth at all. He didn't stealth anytime he didn't have to stealth. He fucking did. And it was just like, but I did, right? Because I like that type of gameplay. I play games like that. So I stealthed when I could in Spider-Man, but he did. And by the way, the stuff in Spider-Man fucking ridiculous. They don't even look up. You can web niggas 2 feet above a goon, and they would not.
Bro, I hate that in games.
So like, yeah, I hate that.
Dumb.
So like, that's my thing. So like, I understood why Cheeto wasn't doing stealth because it was like, bro, why the fuck would I? I can just beat all their asses. There's no, unlike Batman, where it's like, and of course Spider-Man can't do this, right? Because he's Spider-Man. But in Batman, it differentiates combat encounters from stealth encounters by showing you, hey, everybody in this room has a fucking AR, and then so if you run in there and try to fist fight them, you're gonna get dealt up. You have to do stealth. Like Spider-Man didn't have that. It would be like it would enter you into where it would encourage you to stealth, like you'd enter through the roof or something, end up on a perch. But then at that point, it's just completely up to you. You can fail the stealth and just clear everybody else. It just doesn't matter. It's like, bro, why even have it if you're not gonna put more oomph behind it? That's how I feel about the gliding too.
It's the option. It's that option.
See, but like, no, okay, we have to remember as modern gamers have this issue, okay? But look, the intentions are decided by the devs, not us. The intentions of the game are decided by the devs, not us. It's okay you have preferences, but the way they designed the game should go first, right? So in that case, I think it's a mistake that they gave too much power to the players. They should have been like, hey, they should have put something in the game to be like, hey, you have to stealth this part. And test that shit. Like you barely have to stealth with fucking MJ, bro. And that's stupid. That is stupid. They gave her a gun instead of stealth, bro. And they can see you. You can duck behind cover, like the old school exclamation part thing go down. Like, oh, it must have been the fucking wind. Or it's just ridiculous, bro. These trained soldiers getting taken down by a reporter, and like it's just like even
she's a trained and skilled reporter. I mean, her boyfriend is Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
I don't give her superpowers. Like, bro, I'm just saying, bro. Like, why add stealth mechanics into the game?
I'm just making sense out of it. I'm just making sense out of it, yo.
Out of what?
Out of everything you're saying, yo. Like,
yeah. So like, why have stealth in the game if you're not gonna put any actual mechanics behind it?
Like I said,
I think that's just lazy. That's lazy because a lot of games.
The devs.
Yeah, maybe that's lazy because a lot of games don't punish you enough they don't punish you for not. I feel like more games should have, if you don't use stealth in moments where stealth is should be used, I think you should be punished for it. You shouldn't just be able to walk up to games and just, just go, well, the
Plays
stealth
your
doesn't
way,
matter
yeah.
anyway. I'm gonna just fucking beat up everybody, which is fine. But if you got moments where you should be stealthy, you should be punished for not being stealthy. I mean, that's just simple as that. And they need to put more into these NPCs where like you can, because that's in plenty of games where you can literally attack motherfucker that's like 4 feet away from somebody, and the other NPC won't hear it somehow, or they won't see it and from their peripherals or anything like that, and then you just totally get away with it. Like, that's lazy in my opinion. It doesn't provide any type of realism. I know everybody hates that word when it comes to video games, but I mean, it's just immersive to be in that mode where you're supposed to be stealthy, and you actually want to do some stealth shit and take down enemies. But I don't know, this shit's just fucking stupid. I don't know.
I feel like that's
It's
just the
lazy.
scope of the game. Like if you look at a game like let's go for, like CS2 or Ready or Not, like these games that are actually like fully immersive or really realistic, where audio really plays into and influences an AI's behavior and its pathing. Spider-Man isn't that type of game, or isn't known for that type of game to where the devs want to punish you just because you're an action or just because you wanted to disengage.
Well, that
Like
makes
it's
sense,
not
yeah.
a Souls game,
Mhm.
where it punishes the player to learn to teach them. Souls games do that.
Hold on, man. There was
Wait,
no
hold on.
reason for you to take that shot
Hold
at
on.
Souls
Oh,
game. Set
No,
that
no,
up.
no, hold
shit.
on. Before we even do that, it's just
Yeah.
having having AI learning turned on isn't a punishment for the player. I feel like that just betters the experience.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, like, they have that sort of in Spider-Man. It's just not good. Like, if you take someone out, they'll send somebody to go over and check, and
Hey,
then
go
they'll
check
be
that
on
out.
alert. Yeah, they'll be like that, and like they'll send someone over, and you can either take him out on the way, and even if he does check it, they'll just be like, "Oh, Spider-Man's here. Be on the alert." It doesn't actually change anything.
Facts.
They don't start looking up at the roof to see if you're there. They don't try to get him down to get him back into the fight because you just web him up. Remember, so maybe they can like try to cut them down if you're not stealthing fast enough. None of that. Maybe they can have segments where there's hostages, so you have to be stealthy so the hostages will be executed. None of that. Like, you see
But
what I
what
mean?
if
There's
they
so
don't
many
have
ideas of ways they could have went with that. Because like at the end of the day, if you're not gonna use any of that, don't have it in your game at all. Because you're gonna have people like Cheeto who says, "Oh, I don't have to stealth. Fuck that," and just goes in guns blazing and never experiences that side of the game
Shout
at
out to
all. You know?
Cheeto, man. Shout out to Cheeto.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some areas or some things that you do get credit if you can do it fully stealth.
Yeah.
So
Nope. Because I
there's some
thought that for the
side.
hunter basis, but if you if you go loud on the hunter basis, the worst it does is spawn in like an extra wave of enemies. You take them all out, you can still do all the objectives for free.
That's rewarding. Like in my opinion, like you got to take out 5 instead of 15. You
How
don't
is
feel
it
like that's
rewarding
rewarding?
that you just failed? No, you don't reward violence with more violence. That's not how that works.
No,
I don't
no,
think.
no,
I think
that's
it's
not what
kind
I'm
of
saying. I'm
weird.
saying like
That's
because you use stealth, you
No,
only have to take out 5. So you were rewarded for your gameplay versus if you go in kind of not really guns blazing, but like, high impact, making noise and whatnot,
Webs blazing.
blowing things
yeah,
up.
but like the
There we
stealth
go.
thing, that's not a reward. The loud thing is a punishment. Two different things. The stealth thing is intended. You're intended to take out 5 enemies. It's not a reward. That's the standard. The punishment for failing is the more enemies. Which, if you enjoy beating baddies, hey, that's a good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
But it should be punished harder, right? And if we're before I forget, so we're also talking about like laziness and shit that they could have put in. Enemy variety. Enemy variety has not changed since the first Spider-Man back in what year was that? 2015 or whatever?
Yeah.
We still have the same enemy variety. And like I was disappointed with this game because when it gave us different factions, I was like, okay, maybe the different factions will play a little different. No, they just the same exact character like enemies, just in different character models. You still use the same tactics for every single one. There's just light, heavy, whatever other classmates. Like the symbiotes were the only ones that actually changed up the gameplay a little bit. You feel me? Like, and that's kind of lazy considering this is your third installment in the series. You can't add more different dynamic enemies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, in in closing to that, or in relevance to that whole little exclusive thing, Sony did reveal that there will be no more major existing PlayStation franchise releases prior to April of 2025. So it doesn't look like we're gonna get any sequels to anything within the next 365 days, basically. So, which it's kind of a stupid statement because it's just like, I mean, it's not even a lot of time anyway.
2024.
Well, any new existing PS. So like basically a sequel. So they're not gonna bring out any Ragnarok or any God of War, any new Spider-Man, any new Last of Us type shit
That
until
might be nice.
yeah.
Ain't room for
Well, it's
new
only a
IPs.
year though, so it's like it's not really that surprising. I mean, we just got Spider-Man, a new IP's coming out this month. I don't know if Spider-Man has any other stuff coming. They just had Final Fantasy, I guess. So that's not really too big of a surprise, honestly.
I thought Ghost of Tsushima, or whatever the hell that game was getting another iteration or coming out or something like that.
Yeah, but
Or
not
is it
this
just
year.
coming out this
So nothing's confirmed on that. On the next Ghost of Tsushima, that's just a bunch of rumors so far. I honestly, I don't know. Hot take. I would prefer them not to make a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. I think Ghost of Tsushima was the perfect game. I think they should leave it at that, and it should be just on its own. But no, Sony, they're gonna make a second one, and I'm just afraid that it'll turn out like Ragnarok. And I don't know. I kind of expressed that a little bit on a. I mean, we was just covering it today, like just playing games safe. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima shouldn't be one of those games that's played safe, just because of how. Like if you played the game, oh, you didn't play the game, Striker, huh? You didn't play Ghost.
I did.
Well, no, you played 5 minutes.
I gave it a chance.
What?
You didn't give it a chance.
Ghost was too bad for you? You didn't like it?
It was boring.
Bro, you
boring.
didn't play it.
Oh, you love Spider-Man too. I know we're past it, but holy shit. There's no way, dude. You got to go back and retry that. You must have been.
Bro, no.
was wrong.
Tell us what happened. Why you didn't play Ghost of Tsushima? Go ahead.
Come on, please.
It was punishing.
No, it
not
wasn't
even.
that.
Not even.
You
Go
couldn't
ahead. Tell the
figure out how to
story.
do something in the
What was it?
tutorial.
I selected so you know how it gives you options on what video setting you want to play it on.
Oh, I remember.
Did you choose the black and white shit?
Yes.
I chose the
Yes,
black and
bro.
white, and it was
Why
really
didn't you
weird.
just- why did you just restart?
Bro,
Or
right?
See if you could change
I didn't
the
want to do
settings?
that because I had gone too far in. Like
There's
I had
some-
gotten to the bridge.
Bro, that's
You got
like
to
10
the
minutes
bridge.
into
That's
the
tutorial.
game.
That's still the prologue. You ain't even see the real game, bro.
Bro, that's
Hey,
the same
man,
thing he
that's
did
the
on
game.
Elden Ring the first time he stopped. Or
Holy
no,
shit,
Dark
you
Souls.
ain't been back, bro. You see what I mean? Look, not to call you out, Striker, but I feel this is why you like Spider-Man 2, because you'd rather safe games let you relive your enjoyment than to go through harsh conditions to get new enjoyment out of new things like Elden Ring or.
You know,
Ghost
there was
or
nothing
something.
hard about Ghost of Tsushima. The game,
Yeah,
the
okay,
game was
but you
pretty
could, though.
straightforward. Like
But you
you could choose
Oh,
to go
wait a
range and
minute.
shoot arrows.
Wait a
The
minute.
arrows would one-shot enemies,
Wait a
or
minute.
you just
Okay, look,
assassinate or instant kill from
You were
behind.
talking about how easy it was to beat a prologue, bro. A prologue. You said the
Yeah.
same shit about Elden Ring, and guess what that tree sentinel did to your ass? He
Beat
did
that
what?
tree sentinel.
I
Yeah,
beat
yeah,
the-
he
That
sliced-
tree sentinel in the
he
dark
sliced the
hills.
dice.
That nigga had you in there for feature-length film time trying to fight him, all right? We ain't look,
6-hour stream.
look, man,
6-hour stream.
you
but
cannot
got
say a
subs
game
off
is
that
easy
nigga.
if you haven't beat it. How you gonna say a game's easy when you haven't beat it or anything, bro?
No,
you didn't make it into. You didn't even make the act one. How you gonna say it's easy? You don't know. What
No,
the
no.
game is
To
like.
be fair, the game is coming out or is being ported to PC on March 5th.
What is?
Literally Tuesday.
You
what
have
is
a
Ghost of Tsushima.
PlayStation.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, well, you
What
need
is-
to play that. I didn't even
Ghost
know
of
that.
Tsushima?
Damn.
Yeah, Ghost
Nice.
of Tsushima.
I might have to
Okay.
pick that up. Okay. What about Striker? I love you, man, but look, you cannot comment on Ghost of Tsushima if you didn't play it. You got to, and I'm not talking about the prologue. 3 minutes into the prologue. You got to play the game.
I
That
played
game
it.
is
It was like an hour
beautiful.
to get to that bridge.
An hour?
That's how long the tutorial took you. Think about
An
that.
hour?
You saying it's
Yeah,
easy.
but you saying it's easy.
Because you still got a bit to explore. It's not just
The
like
tutorial's
you
like
go
20
here
20
or you
minutes,
go
30
there.
tops.
Because they don't really guide you anyways. Like
You talking about the
it's-
bridge where you get that first boss fight, right? That you're scripted to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got
Yeah,
mad when
you
lost
scripted
that.
to lose that
Of
one.
course. And anytime he's scripted to lose a boss, he immediately says, "Why? Why would the game do that to you?"
It's
That just
story,
sounds-
bro.
It's punishing for no reason. Like
the story.
It's part of the
story,
story.
give
This
it
is
to
going
me
back
in a
to the
cinematic.
This is going back to the devs' intention. You don't get to pick and choose, bro. It's their game. They
their
intended for you to lose, so you're gonna lose. And what's crazy, you talk about how punishing Dark Souls is. Dark Souls has scripted bosses like that too, but you can actually beat them if you're good enough, if you on the first try. But you only, but you
That's
never talk about how they
skill
reward
issue.
you like that.
That's
Yeah.
the skill issue. You know what I mean? And
But
then
look,
you
a
know
scripted
it
boss
comes
fight
back
ain't
to
that
this
bad.
nigga saying Kingdom Hearts is harder than fucking Dark Souls.
Oh,
You still
whoa.
haven't beat it. Like you still haven't
Whoa.
gone to play it.
Whoa.
You know? You know,
No,
I just got
Well,
what game have you played though?
bring that elephant into the room. That's it.
What
Yeah, let
game
niggas
have you
know.
played, Striker? Well, we gotta make Striker. If you play Kingdom Hearts, you gotta make Striker play Dark Souls. Like I ain't even gonna make him go back to 2 because I ain't even played
I
2.
said
I'm gonna make
3.
it.
I bought
Yeah,
3.
three. That's
I'm
my
pretty
suggestion.
sure.
Go get Dark
It
Souls.
was
3.
Elden Ring. It was Elden Ring. You said play
No,
Elden Rings or beat Elden
no.
Ring.
I said
No.
no.
Elden Ring is literally
I
like
don't got
Elden
Dark Souls in
Ring
my library.
yeah, but you got to look. From Software made Elden Ring so they could open up the Souls games to the casual audience. They made the game easier for you guys. So so if you're talking about difficulty, you have to go back to Dark Souls 3, an actual Dark Souls game where you hold your fucking hand. Elden Ring, they
The
hold your
whole
hand.
point of Elden Ring was just to put George R.R. Martin into the gaming industry or gaming community and whatnot. Just because, what's the stupid like Game of Thrones was so popular and whatnot, and it was written so well. Up
Stupid
until, like,
Game of
whatever
Thrones.
last season.
Right, bro. He's saying
Wait a
stupid
minute.
to popular ass shit.
Wait a
That's
minute.
crazy.
Strike.
I didn't like the show.
I mean,
I saw the first episode and
You are
I
right.
thought
I
it was
do remember.
garbage.
Oh my goodness! The
We ain't
first
even
episode.
talking about that, but like,
we ain't gonna touch on that.
bro. Like, wait, what does that have to do with Elden Ring as a game, though? You just talk. If anything,
George
George
R.
R. R.
Martin
Martin only had a hand in lore and story, not in actual gameplay or game mechanics. You don't know any stories. I don't know why you talking about story. I barely know
Funny story. God of War had the best story ever written.
No,
I'm
it
talking
did
about
not.
within Elden
No, it
Ring.
did not. Don't
One-
do that.
From
No,
one,
it did not.
like, from when he was back and mourning his wife and his kid's death.
Well, no. What Striker?
Have you
What?
played it from that point?
You
Have
about-
you played it from that point?
Bro, Striker.
You
What
talking about,
made
like,
God of War the
War,
best
bro.
story ever created? What was so out of the box about God of War story?
I mean, for one, it was the only like game that really wanted to like go about going against gods or some kind of mythology in such a way, in such a brutal way.
They're gods.
Not
They're
just-
supposed to be brutal.
No. Killing them.
Okay.
What makes that special, though?
What was it's
At the
Kratos?
time, there wasn't a game that was doing that or really trying to introduce or push that kind
Well,
of
how does
like
that
narrative.
How does that make
So
that
it was
story
unique.
great?
But what about the
It was
story?
unique in the
Was
sense-
unique.
Is
The
it unique?
story itself was amazing to play through and kind of explore and travel that or go through that journey.
It
in
was.
reaching that kind of closure that he wanted and get the peace that he wanted, which is basically kind of killing himself. But instead, they made him a god himself and whatnot, and just kind of going through and just wanting to kill all of Olympus because he was betrayed so heavily and whatnot. Like the story itself, it's a really long story.
It's a typical revenge story.
Yeah, I mean, what
Yes
about
and no,
what
'cause, I
about
mean, he got his revenge on Ares, who was the one that gave him the power in the first place at a cost of his family.
yo?
And he got his revenge, but then he realized like it wasn't just Ares who kind of put his hand in that pot or was kind of stirring things up. He was realizing that, you know, all the gods kind of played a part into it, and Zeus was mainly like the master of all the puppets and kind of like putting all the pieces in place and whatnot to kind of ensure that Kratos was put in check and you know the gods couldn't be challenged.
I don't know.
And-
I feel
It's a
like there's
typical
there's what are you comparing that to though? Because
Yeah, like, I
what
don't see
games
how
are you
that's-
comparing it to? Because the greatest.
Elden Ring, like Elden Ring doesn't have a story. That's
It
what I'm
does have a
comparing
story,
that
You
to.
just don't bother to look for it, which I can't explain it in detail because I haven't really gotten into lore myself, and it's been a long ass time since I even played it. But God of War's story is pretty typical, bro. It's a revenge story, and if you have preference for it because it's Greek mythology, which by the way
That's
might
fine.
take points off of it because they're using already created material,
Mhm.
right? Which is no problem with that. But I don't see how you can say you're the greatest story ever told when your story is a direct inspiration off of another story for real.
Yeah, it's
right?
mythology.
It's
based on
mythology. Like it's easy to make it amazing.
It's
We already have so
information
much
and
written down.
resources
And, like, it's
what's
just-
already around.
I'll give it
Yeah,
to
but-
you in saying how they brought it to life. That was amazing. I like that. I'm not going to disagree with that. But it just what game are you comparing it to? Just Elden Ring,
Yeah,
or
like-
you said the
like
greatest
what other-
ever made? I can name
Greatest
about
ever.
5 games right
Greatest
now
ever.
that top that story.
Don't say The Last of Us.
It is
I-
one.
I'll disagree with
No,
The Last of
no,
Us.
for real. No, if we're being honest, The Last of Us.
Mhm.
Yes. The
Last
first
of
Last of Us is 100%.
It's better.
It's
Yeah.
way.
I feel
It's an
like The
original
Last of
story.
Us-
It's an original story. It's not based
It's
off.
not, though.
It is though.
It is.
It
though,
is.
right?
Telltale Games of The Walking Dead did exactly that.
Just
Where-
because it
What?
has zombies doesn't mean it's the same fucking thing.
It's the same thing.
Okay, no.
It's the very
You
same
just
thing.
proved your point. Telltale Games. That's got a better story than God of War.
They do.
Off rip. That's an original story. You're right. It is. It is an original story based off of what it
interactive
is.
text adventure. It's
What we're talking
it's
about
basically a
stories
cinema.
though.
I wouldn't say it's a better story. I say it just tells a story. It tells a story.
It
Pretty
does a
well.
better
I
job at
won't
telling the
say-
story though. It's interactive. Think about it though. With Telltale games, I mean, that you just proved yourself wrong right there. With Telltale games, it's decisive. So every action you make actually plays into the rest of the story. So
It's not linear. I'll say that much.
it's
Yes,
not
that's
linear.
fair.
God of War is very linear. I mean, it's only you can only play through it the way the developers intended, right? With Telltale games, it's basically your choice how things play out. So Telltale games off rip, or at least the first one, way better than God of War. It's original. The Last of Us, I'm gonna stand on that. That's an original story. That's way better. I mean, I fucking Red Dead Redemption. If you ask me, it's got a better story than God of War. What else? Cyberpunk's got a better story than God of War. Shit. Well,
Baldur's Gate 3 had a better story than God of War.
haven't played that yet, but that's up there, I guess.
I know Striker ain't gonna disagree with that one.
You disagree with that one, Striker?
No, he don't.
I feel the game. Hold on. I'm not saying the story is better. I'm saying the
Ghost of
game.
Tsushima's got a better story than God of War.
Yeesh.
If you actually play it,
Yeah.
if you play the shit.
You know? Cause like, look, as much as like, I didn't even play all the OG God of War games. So, but like from what I know of the OG series is that it was very like, what's the word? It's just very simple, straightforward, one face. He was just an angry man wanting revenge. Kratos got no character depth until the remake where he's in the Norse mythology. The Kratos has not had any type of depth to his character before then, in my knowledge.
I mean, he was trying to put that life behind him. He was like you said,
That's
it was
what
a
I'm
very
saying.
story. He
He
was a
was
very
first.
vengeful person, and he realized that power, that journey that he went through, was only like what was out of pure hatred. It was hate. It was rage. Like he didn't find or couldn't find peace or that joy. Like he was just mad the entire time, and he was mad at the gods for like putting him in the position or putting him through that predicament, in which forced him to kill his wife and his son.
That's what I'm saying though. Like we didn't get any of that depth until like the remake,
Yeah, the
because
remakes.
I don't think you can really say that was an intended like transfer, because at the end of 3, didn't he fucking kill himself with the sword? How did he even come back after that? I mean, I don't know lore, but like I just feel like they definitely improved, but like the OG God of War, like the saying like that Kratos is deep, I don't think so, bro. He was just an angry man, right? And kill anybody's wife and child ever, they'll be a fucking angry person, you know what I mean? Like it's not, he didn't have any depth to him. Like maybe like if he had a moment where he stopped and realized, well, yeah, I did kill them, but I did accept the deal. Maybe that would add some character depth to him.
Yeah.
But he never takes responsibility for that, as far as I know. Maybe if he stopped and was like, oh, maybe all this death is just spreading more pain and misery like they brought to me instead of solving problems. But no, he didn't have that revelation at all. He killed literally fucking every god, and killing every god killed the entire fucking earth that he was on. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't get any character depth until the remake, because the original series was, like you said, what made it unique and what made niggas love it was all about this violent god doing big, grand, violent shit. And it was amazing to just play through and do. You know what I mean? But I don't think that makes the story deep. I think that kind of the opposite. You know, the story's one facet because you're just about revenge the whole time. Like, can you name me like 5 NPCs that actually like survived throughout the first couple of games? And like, you know, are important characters in the verse, or do they just die too?
No, I think pretty much everybody died. I mean, it was all out war.
Yeah,
what
about the
including with
remake?
the
In the
Titan.
remake, we're talking about the remake. You know, his son survived, Thrude survived, her mother survived, fucking who else? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Valkyries, I don't know all their names, but it's like 6 of them. They survived. There were a couple people that died. Like they had death in the remake, but these weren't in the originals. Like you're talking about.
Yeah, but I feel like the remake they kind of watered it down, and also like that
Water what down?
the time we're in, the violence. The violence
that's
from
the point,
the
though.
previous games
How can
wasn't
he be
as much
reformed if he's
now.
still as violent? That's like the point. You see what I mean? Like he had to water down for the character development.
It was. I mean, he did it mainly for his son. What's his name? Atreus or whatever crap his
Loki.
name is. Loki. Yeah. Yeah. So he wanted to show his son, like, you know, anger isn't the way, or you know, the way to make peace, or like there's multiple ways to win a war. Essentially, it's not just killing everybody, or not everyone has to die. At some moments, you gotta be willing or know when to express mercy.
Yeah, but
Yeah, okay, like why'd you say that though? That doesn't add anything.
Well, I'm
to
just saying
conversation.
that's the new games and whatnot versus what happened in the old one.
So
Like I feel
you
like
think
in the
that's
newer,
worse?
and there was a huge time lapse. Like, he left his country,
Yeah.
like you said, and he went to this complete different area. He wanted to be by himself, but he met a woman, and he fell in love with this woman and had a
How do you
child with
know
him.
this?
Huh? They explained it in the game.
Did they?
They did.
mhm.
The story, you know.
How did he get to the Norse mythology world? Because you say he left this country, but how'd he get there?
Traveled.
That wasn't
It was a
explained.
big time lapse. It was
That
a big
wasn't
time lapse. They
explained.
didn't
Okay,
say how he got there.
Like you gotta
but
remember, in
he-
God of War 3, when he killed all the gods, that literally destroyed the entire killing Poseidon flooded the earth, killing fucking Zeus brought the skies down. Like, how did he get from that destroyed world to this one?
Yeah,
I'm not
that's a gap.
explaining.
That's a
I'm
gap.
not saying,
That was a big plot hole.
you know,
I ain't
that
gonna lie.
Santa Monica studio completely filled all the gaps, but
So how is it a great story if there's gaps like that? Major gap, like small gaps I can overlook, but major
Hey,
gaps like
if
that.
that's something that they're still developing. There
Nah,
could be
hell
a
no.
prequel to the sequel.
Nah.
So how did he and this legitimately could be shit I've forgotten because I haven't played the game in a while, but like how did he meet his wife and fall in love with her? Because I just don't see OG Kratos falling in love with anybody.
No, that's fair. That's a good question. I think
I
he
was never
answered that, or Loki asked him.
It was for
And
the
he-
plot.
It was for the plot. So he didn't actually soften up and become warm up to
He
love,
was hurt, or he got hurt, or he was hurt, and I think he was already living in that cabin. And then he ran into that woman or whoever it was, his wife now. Well, not now, but because she's dead. But she saw he was hurt. He was on the brink of death, basically, and she healed him back because she was a healer or some kind of cleric or shaman or something. And she healed him back to life, essentially, or whatever. Was taking care of him,
What was
so
he
he
on the
was
brink of
indebted
death
to
from?
her.
What was
Huh?
he on the brink of death from? What was he dying from?
That could have been that time lapse or that gap that they were bridging when he was trying to get away from that land, from where he was, and just leave. Well, I guess he descended from Mount Olympus and just landed in.
Yeah, hold
Once
on.
again, I didn't write
was-
this story. I'm just
You are
kind of
about to
filling
work
in
the greatest
the
video
gaps
game
of
story
what-
ever, so you should know this. Ask me questions about my favorite story. I'll be able to answer them for you. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm just asking all these questions because, genuinely, look, we have to stop, sit back, and actually, you know what I'm saying? Take into account the shit they're skipping out us on. I understand it's easy to forget. You ain't got no mashed potatoes when you got the mac and cheese, but sometimes you gotta look back. Like, yo, where's my mashed potatoes? Like, where they go? Why are they not here? You know what I mean? Give us everything. When you're giving us the game, stop playing it safe. Stop being greedy and God of War. I have nothing against God of War personally, for real. Especially
it's
since
a great game.
the DLC that came out was
Yeah.
free and it was a great game.
It's a great game.
I ended up platinum it too. Right, took me way longer than it took me to plat Spider-Man. And I went back and played the
Gotta
DLC.
take a shot at Spider-Man when you can.
I do, bro. I do. Until you learn your lesson. I do.
Yeah,
You gonna call that motherfucker mid one day. I'm gonna get you. You gonna call it mid one day, and then I'll just
Oh
have
no,
it is,
yo,
right?
masterpiece, yo.
Hey, would you pay $70
Game of
to
the
play it
year
again?
nominee.
Yeah, would
Absolutely.
you? That's a great
You would?
question.
Would
Absolutely.
you go
I
back in
would.
time and
That's
pay
I would
$70?
support
That's terrible.
Insomniac and making such
That's
or
terrible.
bringing forth
Wait,
such
wait,
an
wait,
amazing
Striker. When was the last time you touched
memorable
Spider-Man?
game.
Yeah.
I've been on a lot of games. There's been a lot of
Get the
releases
fuck out of
lately.
here.
Yeah, nah, bro. Hey,
We've
what's
had the release
hey,
of Enshrouded,
name a
Power
game-
World,
Name a game
Helldivers.
that you bought after fucking. Oh well, how many hours do you have in Power World?
Like 60?
Okay,
many in
how many
Spider-Man?
hours do you have in Spider-Man?
That's a good question. That's on PlayStation. It's harder to track that.
It's
It's
probably
no
the
way
same
it's more
time
than
Mon took you to beat the story.
Yeah.
I probably got like 80 hours or something like that. on
Nah,
Spider-Man.
hell
That-
no.
that is cap.
Get the
That
fuck
is
out of
cap.
here, bro.
That
You
is cap.
don't.
How
Bro,
do I look that
I
up?
platted the game in 20 hours, and the average time for platting the game is 20 to 22. So I only did it 2 hours faster than the average. What did you do with those extra 60 hours of time, Striker?
Swinging.
What were you doing for 60 fucking hours?
Swinging.
That doesn't make sense to me. There's
Pausing,
no
pausing
way.
and taking pictures.
Hey, you gotta do that though. It's part of the game. You gotta take the pictures and whatnot of certain memorable area, and then the
Nah,
cop
bro,
tells you
you
something
capping.
about
I'm
it.
gonna check this shit myself. You capping? Hold on, I'm getting on my PlayStation.
That shit is funny.
You capping, bro? You gotta be lying. There's no way
That
you
web
can
slinging
figure out.
was very immersive as well. Like
60
I
hours
didn't just
immersive.
I didn't
What was
just web
immersive about
slinging
it?
once. Like I was going back and forth through the islands because it's
What
two,
was,
it's not just one.
what was immersive about it specifically?
But I'm swinging like Spider-Man, being able to do backflips, something I can't do in real
Okay,
life. Like
but
I
what
was able to do
what
something in a
made
video
that
game that I can't do
different?
in real life, and
What made
it's
that different from the last Spider-Man game you played? Because you could do that in the last Spider-Man too.
that I got to do it with two characters.
Nah,
Oh, so nothing. So nothing. So nothing. So nothing, man. Like, thank you. So nothing.
Nah,
Like, you can't be.
nah, we gotta stop defending this shit. Just put a striker. This is why they get away with the shit. All right, this is why they get away with the shit. Cause motherfuckers like you up here defending the game no matter what, bruh. All right, it's
just
it's
the
not
fun of it,
innovative.
right?
Yeah. Okay. He does have 55 hours on Spider-Man too,
God
and
damn,
you still missing 2 trophies, bro.
damn, too much taking
I,
pictures.
I know what those are. It's I forgot about them, and I can't do them because I gotta run back through the game.
Oh my
What?
goodness.
That is terrible game design. Thanks for pointing that out. But
Hold on, no, it's not. No, it's not.
terrible game design. Unless you intend to have missable content, like Dragon's Dogma 2, they brag about how they want how there's
Mhm.
gonna be missable content. Unless you're bragging about it, there's no reason there should be missable content in your game like that.
That's true.
Cut off because of a time lapse. I hate that. I hate that. Like you do a quest and it's like, let me see. Oh, guess which one he's missing, guys?
Which one?
Stealth take down 25 enemies in
God
stealth.
damn,
Wait a
look at
minute.
that.
Guess which one he's missing, guys? The
Look at
stealth one.
that.
You see, the stealth is so useless, they have to persuade you to do it through a fucking achievement.
But you're
my
rewarded.
goodness.
You're
With
rewarded
what?
for it. An
PlayStation
achievement,
trophies don't reward you with shit. What are we getting out of that?
a platinum. You got your
What do
platinum
you
out of it.
get out of that? What do you get out of PlayStation trophies? You get a discount to the next game? Do you get like a cent on your like
Nah,
PlayStation account?
you can buy like little trophy things or whatever to put on your shelf, like as like memorabilia or stuff or whatever, and PlayStation.
You use that?
Wait, what shelf? What?
You
Like
wait,
an
you
IRL
use
shelf?
that?
What are you talking about the PlayStation room? Or
Yeah,
some shit?
bro, the PlayStation room.
Hell
You
nah,
use that
bro.
shit? That's a scam, bro.
The PlayStation room, bro. You can't. You don't even be on your PlayStation talking about you be on the PlayStation room. Nah, that's lying, bro. Look, bro,
That's a scam, bro. Oh my goodness.
come on now. Trophies are there for trophy hunters like me. I do hunt trophies sometimes if I like the game and I'm into it. But like outside of that, there is no value. Like for instance, for me, if I think a trophy's just too fucking stupid, it'll just kill my like hype to get the plat. Because I'm like, oh, I don't want to fucking do that. And I don't lose anything from not getting it. You know what I mean? Like I almost didn't do that cross map shit, but like the game was so small, might as well.
Oh shit. Well,
Extended time talking about fucking Spider-Man. And
I hate to rush us off, but I got like 10 minutes before I gotta log off. But
oh yeah,
you know, we covered pretty much everything. I'm gonna just speed through all the little minor updates real quick.
But to be fair, we could also save more for next week.
Oh yeah, 100%. All the shit getting saved for next week. I'm gonna just put out all the little shit. Like I said, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for y'all interested in picking up the game that haven't purchased it yet. It did get a price drop of $20. It's now $50. Priced that on PlayStation, Xbox, on disc at Best Buy online. So go ahead and save some money and pick that up if y'all were looking for it. Now's the time. Call of Duty's doing their crossover with Warhammer, and The Walking Dead apparently. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
The
I've heard about that.
one lives, or the one who lives, is out right now. Episode 2 just came out.
Cool. Payday 3, if any Payday 3 fans in here, it added a solo mode in its new series of patches. You can now perform heists alone. The EA shit we'll kind of get into next week, so stay tuned for that. That's probably gonna be a big conversation. PlayStation has laid off 900 of its employees and closed its London studio. So, woohoo! More jobs lost. And that kind of ties into EA too. They did the same shit. But yeah, y'all got any closing remarks before we close out this week?
Stay true to the games you play, yo. Don't let
There we go.
biases
There we
or negativity of other people persuade you.
Hey, you know what? Striker do stand 10 toes on his claims at least. I give him that. He don't switch up. I give him
that is true, bro.
give
I
him
love piece of advice. Don't get scammed though. Don't buy shit games just because it's a hype train, bro.
Hey, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, we
Keep it here,
bomb
number
because
eight.
we want to review them, but other than
Yeah.
that, if you ain't reviewing these motherfuckers, don't buy them. Please don't support this shit.
Gaudy contenders.
Oh god.
Hot Take Central. Check out Code 8, Part 2 on Netflix. Just fire.
Good to go. Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender. We gonna cover that on next episode. I got a lot to say about that damn live action, and
100%.
it's a problem. The little sneak peek, it's a problem. But in closing, we're gonna wrap up today's episode. I want to thank everybody who made it this far in today's show. All we ask for your appreciation is for you to spread the love by sharing the podcast with a friend. While you're at it, go ahead and drop us a 5-star rating on the supporting platforms. This helps us grow through the algorithm to promote our show, which helps us bringing in new listeners. Don't forget, if you want to reach out to us, you can always find us in our Discord server, which will also be linked in the show notes. As always, this is The Summit, and we will see y'all on the next one. Peace.